ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special update rehearsal episode. Today we are back with Lily from the radio. Oh, she's having a little technical difficulty right now. Can you still hear us, Lily? Maybe? Are you there?
Here.
She's coming back. Here she is.
I'm here.
Lily is back. She wanted to make a dramatic entrance.
I did. And me and my internet, we worked together on that.
Yes. The lovely people at Insert Your Internet Provider here.
Yeah, they're quite the charmers. They're great.
So we were just saying before we hopped on, we talked about 3 weeks ago. And one of the big talking points was that you don't really meet famous people.
Right. And being in radio. Yeah.
Yeah. And now here we are talking about how you met a famous person. Not that the other two guys we talked about aren't famous in their own right, but Blake Shelton's kind of a big name.
Yeah, especially country music, he is up there.
He's the dude. He's one of the dudes.
Yeah. It was insane. He's you know how you have those, maybe you have those little jokes with, I don't know, maybe you and your wife do. You always have like a hall pass, right? But like the hall pass is really a realistic, or it's an unrealistic list of somebody who, if they presented themselves to you in a way that they wanted you, it would be okay for you to go with them. Now, my husband has like one celebrity where I have like 8. And out of the 8, they're pretty big names. So it was always a joke. Like, I'm never going to meet any of these guys. And then a few weeks ago, it turned out that was not true. My poor husband.
Poor Mr. X.
I know. He's fine, though. He stayed home.
So for people who are not aware, who don't follow you on social media, which they should, by the way, shame on you if you don't follow Lily on social media.
Yeah. I like to have a good time.
Tell us about meeting Blake Shelton. What was that like? Tell us about it.
Okay, so I will go back just a little bit to like kind of how it happened.
Yes, context is fantastic.
Yes, we gave away tickets. So if this is like the first video you've watched of me, hi, I'm Lily, and I work on the radio, do a morning show. And we gave away tickets for Blake Shelton Friends and Heroes Tour. We gave those tickets away back in October. So back in October, I went to management. I was like, look, I want to go see this show. I was supposed to see Blake a year ago in February when he was in Hershey, but I couldn't. My mom ended up being really sick, and she was in a coma. She was in the hospital, and I felt like it was more important I go with her than go see Blake. So even though when she woke up from her everything, she was like, how was the concert? And she remembered, and I said, Mom, I didn't go to the concert. I came here to be with you. And she's like appalled. And she was like, why? Just to watch me lay in this bed? Like, and you know my mom. Like, she was not happy I didn't go. So I'm like, if he comes back around, I gotta go. And this was even closer. Hershey's like 2.5 hours from me. State College, an hour. And so the morning show that I host is in State College. It is simulcasted there. So when I found out that he was coming, we were giving away tickets. I said, can I get like 2 of those? And they're like, I don't even know if we're going to have any left, because that was huge for Blake Shelton to perform at the Bryce Jordan Center is huge. Like he could sell out stadiums, you know? So I didn't really think that I was going to get any tickets. And then I didn't hear anything. Months go by, and I'm like, man. So 2 weeks before the concert, I'm talking to one of my managers, and I knew he was going. And I said, oh, tell Blake I said hi at the show. And he was like, do you want to go? I was like, we have tickets. He goes, well, I have some nosebleed seats that are left if you want those. And I'm like, I just want to be in the same room as him. I don't care. I was so excited. So at that time, like, all I thought was that I was just going to the concert. I thought I got tickets and I was going to take my husband. And then because, well, you know how it is with kids, childcare, it's not always easy to find. So I ended up taking my sister-in-law with me, and I took her to see Luke Combs last April. So we're just thinking like that's all we're doing is going to the concert. So 2 days before the concert, I'm talking to one of my other managers, and he brings up the fact that he is going to meet Blake. or he already has met Blake before, but he was going to see him again. He was going backstage. And I was like, and you're not taking me?
Come on, man.
And he goes, well, I just thought maybe I didn't realize you wanted to go.
Bruh.
I'm like, you know, I wanted to go. And I kind of got like a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently it was like kind of all a joke. He was planning on asking me. And I thought that was nice.
Yeah, yeah.
So it turns out that he ended up asking me like the next day, and I kind of ruined the surprise a little bit, but it's fine. So I got to go back. And it's not really backstage. It's more under the stage and like hidden in a creepy hallway.
Mm-hmm.
These like backstage rooms. But it was like just the whole experience was so surreal. I can't like it flew by, but it also was like it was a good amount of time where I didn't embarrass myself.
And that's always a plus.
Yeah. Because like when I told my husband, first I told him I was just going to the concert and he was like, "Oh, I'm happy you're going to get to see him." And then I was like, "So, I actually get to meet Blake." And he's like, "What?" He was like, you're going to meet him." I said, "Yeah, I'm going to meet him." But like obviously, I am a happily married woman. Blake is a happily married guy. But it was just like the joke, whole like hall pass joke. So we get there like super early because I'm anxious, very anxious.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so before we met Blake, we actually met country singer Craig Morgan. And he has a lot of hits and we play like a lot of them, and he has new music coming out, and he was super down to earth. He was so cool. And I was like, okay, it was almost like practice.
Warming up.
Saying that, like, oh my God, if he's listening, like, Craig, you're awesome if you're like watching this. But I needed it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Mr. Shelton walked into the room, I was starstruck. Like I was actually speechless at first. I was like, oh my God, because he's so tall.
Yeah.
He's so tall. And I had on cowboy boots that had a heel that I was about like this high.
Mm-hmm.
And I still wasn't even close to him. He was just so kind, and he complimented my outfit, which I took like hours to pick out. So I felt like pretty cool.
Paid off.
It did, yeah. But of course, like people in the room were like embarrassing me. They were like, "Oh my God, she wore that outfit for you." And I was like, "Shut up." Like, stop talking.
So what if I did?
Yeah, like,
yeah.
I cared about how I looked when I was going to meet one of my favorite country singers.
I'm Lily from the radio.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, imagine if I showed up in like sweats and a ripped up T-shirt.
Exactly.
That would not have been a good look. So he like comes in and everybody got quiet for a second. It was like, because he's such this presence.
He's got a presence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But not even just that, like his stage presence, like when he performed, was incredible. He just knows how to work the crowd. Now he's been doing this for a long time. I got to see him perform my favorite Blake Shelton song, Austin. So that was really nice. And I loved how he did this tour. So it wasn't just, they had an opening act, Emily and Roberts, and I got to meet her as well. And she was super sweet, super cute. But so it was her, and then Blake comes out like right away.
Oh, wow.
After she goes on. So he performed like 4 songs, and then Craig Morgan came out, and then he performed 3, and then he went back, and then Blake came back, performed more songs, and he left, and Dina Carter, another country singer, best known for maybe Strawberry Wine, if you know it, and then she performed a few songs, she left, then Blake came back out, performed some more music, he left, and then Trace Adkins came out. And I was not expecting to cry over Trace Adkins, but he performed You're Gonna Miss This. And everyone around me's crying. And I'm all the way up in the nosebleeds. So I'm like squinting. I have my phone where I'm like zoomed in to see him. Mm-hmm. It was just, it was incredible. And then he and Blake performed. And then all 4 of them performed together. And then Blake ended the show. But I said, meeting him, like I didn't even care about my seats at that point because I was able to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
And he hung out for like a half an hour with us.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they provided us with drinks, they had snacks, and we were allowed to take whatever we had down there. We were allowed to take up with us, and I'm like, which is good because I have a really long hike. So, so in case I got hungry, yeah, he was just so sweet, and he was like taking pictures of everybody. And the one thing I forgot, You know what I forgot? A Sharpie for him to sign something. Because something I didn't really realize, like, they don't, like, singers don't really carry Sharpies around.
No.
It's up to us.
No. Comic
And
people.
I failed.
That's us, the comic people.
I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry, I have nothing for him to even sign. But he was so cool.
So you said he hung out for like half an hour.
Yes, he hung
Like a
out for
lot
like
of
a half.
times you do like a meet and greet and it's like you get a few sentences and you take a picture and it's on to the next thing.
Yes. So like when I met Mitchell Tenpenny last April, it was very quick. Like there was a line of people and then I went up there, we talked about, actually I had this sweatshirt on when I met him. Because he's an Eagles fan and we talked about that. And then
Go Birds.
Yeah, go Birds.
Go Phils.
Yes. Oh yes. Oh my god, the Phillies are playing right now, right?
They
Well, I
are.
mean, maybe not when somebody's watching this, but I should have wore fit. Well, you know, I got some. I'm representing the hometown in some way.
Yes.
But yeah, like so, it was like we talked. We quickly talked about the Eagles, took a picture, and then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Where Blake, like, he took the time to actually talk to us. Like he was asking me, like, what is it that you do on the radio? And I'm like, oh, I do a morning show. What's that like? Like, what's it like getting up early? I mentioned my kids and my husband, and he just, and there was about 9 of us in, so what they call the radio room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously radio people. But he didn't just do that with me. Like he took the time to talk to everybody. And my sister-in-law, I'm going to tell you this, she is like the luckiest person on the planet. So she was not actually on the list to meet Blake because she doesn't work in radio. Somebody else who does a show in State College, one of my friends, and I feel awful for her, she was supposed to meet Blake with all of us. But timing, like there was some confusion about when to get there. And unfortunately, she couldn't get there. So there's my sister-in-law. There's the extra pass.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my managers was like, well, here you go.
That's
She
nice.
she was like, I get to go too.
That's cool.
So I'm like, look at you. And she's like, I really just thought I was going to the concert and I was okay with that. And it's like seeing how excited she got, it just reminds me too, like why I do love this job, because I love when somebody like her, who's somebody who like doesn't really win anything ever. Also, she's not allowed to win, because she's my family. But like seeing her just so excited, and she's a huge fan, and I know that like some of our other listeners who won the tickets, like I know how grateful they were, and I'm like, just like, you know, it just makes the job more fulfilling.
It's awesome. So like I feel like,
yeah,
not that I've met like a ton of big stars, but I feel like there can be times where people meet big stars and they're sort of just going through the motions, talking to people, and they're pretending to be interested. Did you find that like when you were talking to Blake about radio and your family stuff, he seemed legit interested?
Oh yeah, him and even Craig Morgan, both of them actually seemed interested because they were the ones keeping the conversation going.
That's
like
crazy.
I found myself kind of getting stuttery at one point. I was like, oh my god, he's still talking to me. I'm like, we've been talking for like 7 minutes. Because you think about him too, like all the people that he has met, and I'm sure he doesn't remember every detail about everything, but my program director met him many, many, many years ago, like when he was married to Miranda Lambert. That was like a very long time ago. And every time he sees him, like he remembers everything about my program director. So I just think that's crazy. Yeah. Like he really actually is like processing and he's taking it all in. I have met a couple celebrities who do what you said. Like they seem like they're standing there kind of just going through the motions. And one of those celebrities is actually canceled now, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, they're done. So sucks for them. But yeah.
Well, it sounds like you had like a really awesome time.
I did.
And he sounds like a really cool, down-to-earth guy.
He is. He's so cool. Now, if my friend Jen sees this, she's going to be like, what? In 2011, my friend Jen, this is before I even wanted to do radio, so it's kind of funny. She won tickets to see Britney Spears, the Femme Fatale tour. It was in Atlantic City. And she won tickets, and she knew, like, to call me, obviously. She didn't even ask her sister. She went right to me because I'm a huge Britney Spears fan. And she ended up being in a grand prize drawing. And whoever the winner was, they got to go on stage and dance with Britney. And she won. So we danced on stage with Britney Spears. We were 21. We weren't allowed to drink like anything before. They were like, we will breathalyze you. And it was like, okay. But it was like that experience, like to this day, I'm like top 5 best experiences of my life. And I have to say though, like meeting Blake, I feel like kind of trumped that only because with Britney, there was a lot of rules. You could not get super close. Like we were on stage dancing with her. So like if I was here, she was like kind of like here. If that here we go.
I gotcha.
But it like that experience was incredible. But like being right in Blake's face, him talking to me, asking me what my kids' names are, that was something that like I think that meant a lot.
And like I would not even imagine, like there's not a scenario in my mind where I would meet someone like that and think they would be asking me questions.
Right, exactly.
That's
I'm
very
like, yeah, I'm like, who's doing this interview? But I
Well,
was here
now that
for it.
you brought it up, I do need to know who's on the hall pass. Who's on
Okay.
Mr. X's hall pass? See, I
All
gotta
right.
know now.
So my husband's hall pass, I think there's like 2 celebrities. It's like, Nicole Kidman before her 14th facelift. And so that's never coming back. And Avril Lavigne.
That's respectable.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, because I would probably like take her as well, but I'm like, that's fair. I love Avril Lavigne. And that's really it. Like he's just my husband is seriously like the best guy ever. Because then there's me, and I'm like, sorry, I'm like, I have like a piece of paper basically, and I'm like, so here's my list. Um, because I would say like my top 5. Actually, me and my one friend, we've actually broken it down into categories before,
This is
like
deep.
country singers, rock stars. But I'm just gonna kind of rattle off the ones that come to my head that are more, I guess, known. Well, for speaking of country singers, Morgan Wallen would be number 1. And now I said this joke on the air last week. I'm almost like collecting, like meeting country singers like Pokemon now. Like I met Tyler Hubbard, I met Russell Dickerson, met Mitchell Tenpenny last year. I was this close to meeting Jordan Davis and Blake Shelton. Now I got to get Morgan Wallen.
Girl, you just caught one of the legendaries, though.
I know I did. I know,
Yeah.
so I need to calm down. But like if I met Morgan Wallen, I think that I might faint. I met you know who else was a really he wasn't on my hall pass, but I met him last summer, Jared Padalecki. He plays Sam on Supernatural. My children are named Sam and Dean from the brothers on Supernatural. The one who is on my hall pass is Jensen Ackles, the one who plays Dean. He's another one I want to meet. I did meet Jared, and I cried when I met him. I actually was like it was pretty embarrassing. And he's an amazing hugger. But if I met Jensen, I think, I don't know, like if he was like, leave your husband for me, like, I don't know, like I might have to do what he wants me to do.
A decision might have to be made then.
Yeah. I'll be like, and I'll look at my husband and he'll just roll his eyes. He'll be like, she'll be back.
You got this, right? You can hold down the fort for a little bit.
Yeah, just like, 10 minutes. And then, so I would say Morgan Wallen, Jensen Ackles. I met Blake Shelton, John Stamos. That's more, people judge me for that one.
I don't think that's a bad one. I don't think that's a bad one.
I don't either.
He's sultry.
Yes, and he's like on the older side, but like Dennis Quaid, he's another one. Love Dennis Quaid. I know it's weird. A lot of all of these men are significantly older than me, except for Morgan Wallen.
But they're quality characters.
I think so too. Yeah. Nothing wrong with them. And I think that's like for like at least like ones who are more well known. Yeah, and then like I said, my husband's just, I think, like Avril Lavigne. But I'm like so crazy. I feel like if he say like Avril Lavigne just came to the town I live in, and she and then my husband got to meet her, I would probably be freaking out.
Yeah.
I'd be like, wait, what? Like that wasn't supposed to happen.
So my wife and I like have a couple, and I only have one like big one,
Mhm.
and I will never forget the day I woke up one morning and my wife was like, "Hey babe, I'm sorry," and I'm like, what's going on?" And she's like, "Selena Gomez got engaged. She's off the market." I was
You
like,
have to
"What?"
like sit down and break the news,
Uh-huh.
and that's
Yeah,
actually a great one.
she broke the news for me, and she's like, "Yeah, this guy Benny Blanco,"
Mhm.
and then like I had never heard of Benny Blanco until then, and then I looked him up and I'm like, okay, he's a good dude. He seems
Yeah.
like a good enough
Oh,
dude. Yeah.
he's not only a great dude, but like he has made other guys who I guess like look like him, or so these guys want to be like
Hmm.
relatable to him. They're like, so I would have had a chance,
Hmm.
is what they're all saying. I would have had a chance with her.
Yeah. So there we go.
Selena Gomez, though, that's a great one. And if that ever did happen in this world of yours and you don't take me with you to meet Taylor Swift, I'll never forgive you.
You know what? If that happens, if the
Okay.
right people out there are watching this and it happens, you'll be the first person I call up, and
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
Oh, after this, I might have like 18 restraining orders against me from all these celebrities. They're gonna be like, send one to her, please. Wait, who's on your wife's list?
Um, Channing Tatum was for a little bit.
Obvious. Yeah, that's
Um, and then it's sort of like some random like lesser known actors that she just thinks have like nice jawlines
yeah.
or just like nice personalities. Like there's not like any like major
Okay.
big heavy hitters.
What about, because I forgot this one and my husband knows, like if he comes into my life, like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Robert Pattinson.
No, she's not a Robert Pattinson person.
Was she Team Jacob?
So she didn't read Twilight or see any movies
Oh,
until she was like in her 20s or like mid 20s.
okay. So
So
by
she
then
sort
it'd be
of,
weird to pick
yes,
teams.
she missed that train.
Oh
Yeah,
man. Ugh.
yeah,
Team Edward.
yeah.
It
I,
doesn't even make sense. Like did the whole team thing. Like Jacob was never meant to be with her. Did you see them?
I I did not see them or read them, and now I'm sort of at a point where I'm kind of afraid to.
You have to. I mean, the acting is just atrocious.
So I've
Um,
heard.
but it's just it's almost like what is the word? I can't think of the word right now, but it's like cool, but it's like it wasn't really cool. Like it was cool when it came out, and then everybody kind of made fun of it,
Yeah.
and now it's like back. Like actually, 5 of the vampires from that movie are going to be in Altoona in June, and guess who's going to meet them?
Well, guess what? We're gonna have to do it later in
We'll do
June.
another one.
We have to do one of these again. Yeah.
We can, yeah.
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be like a whole Twilight theme. I'll have to go. I have my Twilight T-shirt in my room. I'll put it on for
Your
that.
Team Edward T-shirt.
I used to have a Team Edward T-shirt. I used to have a poster in my room, Team Edward, and my sister was like, "Take that, off the wall." She was not a Twilight fan.
I thought you were just a hater.
No, she was not a Twilight fan. My sister, but she also, our rooms were we shared a room. I don't know. That was like a long time ago. I don't know if you remember that, but like we shared a room and like her side of the room was very like organized and clean. She had like pictures of her friends on the wall, and then my side looked like it threw up. The walls were like completely covered in like concert tickets, had posters. I had like Eminem. Oh my god, how did I forget Eminem? He's another one. See what I mean? Like my poor husband.
Mhm.
Eminem is like OG though. He's like OG Hall
Yeah.
Pass.
I saw your
Did you?
post about it recently.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if you saw that picture, but that was quite the gym.
Mhm. Well, speaking of reading things, today is a Friday. We're recording this,
Mhm.
so that means a new episode of Lily's Book Nook.
Yes, yay! So I just actually uploaded that a few hours ago. I was a little late, but that's okay. This is episode 7, so I've had 7 episodes so far. It's been fun. I like doing it. This one's a little bit different, the newest episode. I don't review a book. Um, I've had a lot happen in my life the last 2 weeks. So I've kind of put me into a reading. I call it a reading funk. on the podcast, but some people would call it a reading slump.
Mm.
It was really hard for me to get into another world
I hear that.
when my reality here was just pretty rough.
Mhm.
But the other night I started a book and I'm almost done it.
Nice.
It's called Here for the Cake. It's super cute. Yes, also like to anybody watching this, like you can find me on social media. My Facebook page is Lily Radio, and my TikTok is Lily Radio, and my Instagram is Lily Morning Show. You can send me a message, and my Book Nook, the link is on my social media.
Yeah, we'll post the links again like we did the first time. And if you're just watching this for the first time and you haven't met Lily yet, we'll also put her original video in the like right here section.
Yeah.
So
Oh
so
yeah.
you can get up to speed. But I do appreciate you taking the time to meet with me again. I know as soon as I saw your post, I'm like, I gotta get her back on so we can talk about it. Yes.
Oh, I love that you thought of me, and it's always good catching up again.
Yes. Well, hey, until the vampires come to town, I guess I'll see you then, right?
That sounds good, yeah.